Higher education, major reforms that we've done. The idea that you would have to take some type of loyalty, political diversity oath, that is imposing ideology as a condition of being hired. Elimination of so-called DEI and how that has been used as an ideological cudgel to impose ideology on the university.
What's up, everybody? Major Retired Richard Ojeda here, and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is putting a stop to woke ideology in higher education. Tiny D. Ron DeSantis woke up in a state of confusion recently, talking about reforms that he's made in higher education in Florida. DeSantis spoke about a diversity and equity oath that had harmed Florida universities. DEI stands for diversity and equality. If you think about it, diversity, equality, and inclusion don't really fit a fascist narrative. DeSantis has created his own terminology to bash the meaning of words that his followers don't understand, like woke and DEI.
There's a lot of money in the budget to recruit faculty to our universities. They did, I think you did like, what, 25 million just for New College? I know Corcoran will appreciate that. And then I know we have a lot more for others. And our view is, this should not be based on political litmus tests.
DeSantis claims that university faculty will be able to use millions for recruiting students to his alternate reality, as he mentions Richard Corcoran. Corcoran is a close ally of DeSantis and served as his education secretary. He has recently been appointed by DeSantis to serve on the board at New College to experiment with higher education reform.
Time has come to reclaim our once great educational institutions from the radical left, and we will do that.
Not to be outdone, Donald Trump regurgitated a similar message on the use of DEI also.
Our secret weapon will be the college accreditation system. It's called accreditation for a reason. The accreditors are supposed to ensure that schools are not ripping off students and taxpayers, but they have failed totally. When I return to the White House, I will fire the radical left accreditors that have allowed our colleges to become dominated by Marxist maniacs and lunatics.
DeSantis and Trump both took shots at diversity, equality, and inclusion as being bad. Trump said that as president, he would radically transform colleges and universities. He threatened schools that use diversity in learning with civil lawsuits and loss of endowments. Endowed is something that the Orange Jackaloon is rumored not to be, however.
Furthermore, I will direct the Department of Justice to pursue federal civil rights cases against schools that continue to engage in racial discrimination and schools that persist in explicit, unlawful discrimination under the guise of equity will not only have their endowments taxed, but through budget reconciliation, I will advance a measure to have them fined up to the entire amount of their endowment.
The tangerine tyrant said it was time to take back the education system from Marxist maniacs. If Donald could erase history, he would. Donald Trump's entire education policy when he was president was aimed at weakening federal oversights and reversing President Obama's commitment on civil rights in public schools. The Trump administration's reversal on civil rights enforcement directly had an effect on racial ethnic discrimination in discipline that was handed out. The Trump administration justified itself saying that states and local school districts play the primary role in establishing education policy. He angered many in education roles across the country. If all of this sounds painfully familiar, it's because Donald Trump's Secretary of Education was Betsy DeVos. DeVos had dealings with a controversial organization that is known for drafting bills on a wide variety of issues such as gun rights and education. The American Legislative Exchange Council, ALEC, puts lobbyists together with the Republican lawmakers to push a destructive far-right agenda. They have been destroying America from the inside for decades. Neither DeSantis or Trump are trying to make positive changes to higher education. They are trying to make it easier for charter schools to operate on the public dollar and easier for creditors to harass students over college debt. Who would trust Donald Trump on education? We can't forget his failed Trump University or the havoc that unaccredited universities have on poor social groups that wound up thousands in debt to schools like Trump University. These unaccredited schools offered freebies to low-income folks and promised careers and left them without a real degree and a mountain of college loans. American higher education got better when Trump lost the White House. Clowns like Trump and DeSantis want you to believe that they have something good to offer. But if you look at their records, you'll learn otherwise. Neither one is interested in doing anything except lining their own pockets, and that's a fact. Sappers clear the way, airborne all the way.